Good afternoon, guys. Can you hear me, everyone? Hello. Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me, everyone?
Yes, you are audible.
Is my voice audible to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So yesterday we talked about Excel object model. So when you open application, you will see workbooks. That means you can create workbooks. When you doesn't open Excel application, you can't see the workbooks. That's a hierarchy. Okay. Object model. Programming knowledge, any idea about the programming knowledge?
Yeah.
Little bit C++ ఎప్పుడు అది ఉంటే చాలు నో డోంట్ థింక్ దట్ ఇది పెద్ద టఫ్ అంటూ ఏముండదు ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు వర్క్ బుక్స్ వర్క్ షీట్స్ అండ్ డ్రీమ్స్ దట్స్ ఇట్ దీస్ త్రీ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ మెయిన్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్ yeah yeah right so what we can do with the help of workbooks object if I consider workbooks as an object what we can perform with the help of workbooks as an object like for example if I say table I can keep some items on the table if I think about chair I can sit on the chair, right? Okay. Not going into workbooks, only with the help of workbooks, what we can do.
Transfer data to record.
Yeah, not okay. We can create a workbook, we can save workbook, we can save as, and we can close. Only these actions you can perform with the help of only workbooks as an object. Okay. Like so inside the workbook, we have again sheets. When you're going inside, you have to put dot. When you want to use any related things, you have to put dot. Workbooks dot. Workbooks of workbook name dot. So all these things you have to, these are the points to be remembered while writing your code. Okay. So you can create the workbook, you can save the workbook, you can save as workbook, you can close the workbook. When you will save as, when you will do save?
Save as the very first time.
Exactly. When you create the workbook, you'll do save as. When you do save for an existing workbook, if you do any data changes, you will be doing dot save. Okay. Then how to close the workbook? Same thing by referring particular workbook. Right. So in that case, how you will be referring the workbook like this? Like for example, as a person, I know in which workbook I have to work, but how the code knows, we have to tell the code in such a way it should understand, right, to do perform this action. So how it will act, we have to say like this: workbooks of workbook name dot Excelytics. That means it will identify that workbook. Okay, that is how we can refer a particular workbook in multiple workbooks. Okay, human ki తెలుస్తుంది. Human knows in which workbook I have to open. If I say I've attached a sheet, by just open that sheet workbook, you'll be having a sheet color with red color tab and see. As a human, I can say I'm redirecting to particular, but how code understands that? We have to write in machine understandable language, the coding script. So how the code understands, you have to refer like this. Any workbook, when you're referring workbooks of workbook name, right? Clear? Okay, workbooks of workbook name. If you want to perform any actions, again you have to put for save workbooks of workbook name dot save. You will be on top of that workbook, you will be saving. That means your cursor is on that workbook. So how to refer that workbook in macros? Workbooks of workbook name dot Excelytics. After completing the bracket, put dot and save. Okay. After completing the bracket, put dot and close. Okay. These are the things which you can perform with the help of workbooks objects. Inside that we have worksheets. What we can do with the help of sheets? Multiple sheets. Okay, what we can do? You can add sheet, you can rename sheet, you can hide sheet, you can unhide sheet, you can delete sheet, you can rename sheet. All those you can do. Okay. Move or copy. In process automation, we will not do all those such kind of things. Add, we will add. Okay, we can add as a rough sheet, we can add a particular sheet and we'll do some data manipulations. That is a secondary thing. If we want to delete, we can delete that. In the process of automation, you can perform all these real-time scenarios, like adding a sheet, renaming a sheet. Okay, all these you can perform. Right. So how you will refer that sheet? Same thing. sheets of sheet name. In which sheet you want to work with, you have to put the sheet name between the double quotes. Right. So what you can do with the help of sheets, you can add, you can hide, you can unhide, you can rename, you can name, you can move on, you can delete. All these actions you can perform with the help of sheets. But without referring that workbook, you can't enter into that sheets. By referring workbooks only, you will be entering into the sheets. Okay, right. After entering into the sheets, you can work on the range. How you will work on the range? By referring a range like this. Single cell like this, group of cells like this. Okay, this is the hierarchy. You have to keep it in your mind while working on any macro automation, any process automation related to Excel. Okay, first comes the workbooks, then comes the sheets, then comes the range of cells. Okay, now, so yesterday we have seen this. After completing this, now how to enable developer tab. How to enable developer tab. Okay, developer tab, for any programming language, there is an editor. Without that, you can't write any programming. Why? Because how the machine understands, right? So how to enable developer tab on top of the ribbon? Okay, most of the people knows. Those who doesn't know, just go to this path. File, options, customize ribbon. On the right side pane window, you can see developer tab unchecked. Okay, check it. Just click on OK. You can see developer tab on top of the ribbon. Then comes the developer tab. Okay, people who knows macros, they know how to enable. So as part of, you have to know how to enable developer tab. The immediate step when you enable developer tab, you have to enter into macro security and enable all macros. Just click on OK. Okay. If you are not enabling macros, every time when you open macro workbook, disable your macros, you will be getting some notifications every time. Okay. So to overcome that, what we have to do? We have to enable all macros for the application. If you can enable, anytime when you open any macro file, any macro enable file, you can't see that notifications actually. Okay. Enable all macros, just click on OK. Clear. This is the first. Next step is completed. Right. Third one, where you will write the code? Some editor, Python, you have Node++, Node++, or something. Tools, VB, Visual Basic Code is also required. You can write anywhere, Python. You have multiple editors. But here, if you click on Alt F11, or if you click on Visual Basic, here you can start writing your code. Okay. So, project window, properties window, and code window. Okay. You cannot write the code in sheets. Why? Because if you delete the sheet, the code will be vanished, deleted completely. Instead, you have to write in the module. So in the module 1, yesterday we have seen few programs. So you should not write in sheets. Clear? For any program, there is a start point and end point. If you take C++, main, void main. For Java also, the execution will start from certain point and ends with end point. Flower bracket close open ఉంటుంది. If condition dash name dash. ఇక్కడ కూడా it starts with sub macro name and end sub. In between, you have to write the code. Sub is nothing but subroutine, which doesn't have any arguments. Programming knowledge ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి arguments అంటే ఏంటో తెలుస్తుంది. మనం కొంచెం తర్వాత చెప్పుకుందాం. After few classes will come to know what are arguments. Arguments అంటే ఇగో ఈ వీటిని అంటారు is equal to something. This number 1, number 2 are there, right? All these are called as arguments actually. Okay. So those are called arguments. So all these are called as arguments. But here, this is not a function to have arguments. It's a simple automation script. You have to start writing a subroutine. Subroutine means sub without any arguments. sub macro name, and automatically you will be getting ends up. You need not to write ends up. Automatically you will be getting ends up. Sub macro name, enter. Automatically you will get ends up. In between you have to write the code. But while writing a macro name, while giving a macro, ఒక నేమ్ ఇస్తావు కదా నువ్వు ఏం రాస్తావు దానికి కొన్ని కండిషన్స్ ఉంటాయి యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫాలో దట్ ఓకే a macro should not start with number sub 1 to 3 mac no it's not possible it will not take okay second one a macro should not contain spaces sub macro name Raghu space mac no it will not accept instead of space you can use underscore Raghu underscore macro you can write a macro name should not contain special symbols dollars percentage exclamatory ampersand the name asterisk no not accepted in the name okay yeah right a macro name should not be a duplicate name should not contain any duplicate name okay first mac 1 and rasta next malla mac 1 and rasta no it will not accept mac 1 means the code itself will confuse in which macro I have to execute. It will say ambiguous name detected. Ambiguous means confusion. So the editor, while executing, it will confuse which macro to execute. Okay. Yesterday we have seen this. Next, we have gone through some small programs. A program sheet is with them. I'll go through that as well. ఇది సింపుల్ గా అర్థం కాదు హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ఉంటేనే అర్థం అవుతుంది సో ల్యాప్టాప్ ఉందా ల్యాప్టాప్ ఉందా ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకున్నావా సో ఆన్లైన్ పీపుల్ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఎవ్రీవన్ టు గెట్ ఎ hands on experience without you can't yeah I know you will not open at any point of time you will say but I recommend every time so please let's make this as a live session going on practicing and everything okay so the first macro I wrote sub cell difference okay ఒక సెల్ ని ఎన్ని రకాలుగా రిఫర్ చేయొచ్చు హౌ మెనీ టైప్స్ ఐ కెన్ రిఫర్ a single cell okay so this is one type this is second type this is third type okay and this is fourth type mostly these two are important the rest of the thing you can leave okay how you will execute the code okay why function f8 why function f5 f5 without once the code is error free we'll use f5 okay f8 enduku anante step by step in the process of automation a particular task we'll be having lot of steps okay in between if it is not capturing the right values how you will identify that value which is not a valid one so you have to go with f8 only okay not with f5 f5 errors only complete ayyaka okay without any errors you can just click on f5 not f8 once the errors are free you can directly just run that means nothing but f5 okay f8 is nothing but step by step execution okay so yesterday we have talked about how to refer single cells a small code how to refer single cells f8 in b5 I got f8 excel in third row fifth column I'll be getting VBA in c5 I got macro in active cell whatever the cell which is an active that will be called as active cell in that I'll be getting okay so as per the knowledge which I shared I told workbook name cheppandi sheet name cheppandi range cheppandi how will it execute okay but here I did not say all I did not give all those information I just wrote simple range this piece of code when you start writing with range that will execute in all active workbooks, active sheets.
Like within sheet 3, 4, 5, 6 or other.
ఏది యాక్టివ్ పెడితే అక్కడ యాక్టివ్. Why? Because you did not mention any sheet name or you did not mention any workbook name.
So like within all the other sheets present over there.
Active sheets. Only active sheets.
That is sheet 2.
Yeah, exactly. Right. At a time, how many books will be inactive? Sheets. ఏదైనా ఒకటే ఉంటుంది. Like for example, if I open another workbook also, this code will execute. Why? Because that is in active position. You did not tell in which sheet, in which workbook you have to execute. You just gave me the range, in which range I have to work. So it will take active sheet as an example and it will execute the code in that. Okay. Clear? Right. So next one is how to refer group of cells. How to refer group of cells. So this is how we are going to refer. Keep this in your mind. You can ignore this. Okay. Why? Because range is a predefined object. This is another way of defining that action. Okay. So if you put dot, you will be getting all the actions which can performed with the range. But here you won't get. Okay. Remember this. Okay. F8, F8. Not, don't go with F5. Okay. So if you just simply listen to this and if you start, you don't get it. You have to get to practice. You have to get an hands-on. Then only if you practice, then only you'll get this. Why? Because if you are missing single double quote, done. Single double quote program you can't execute the code. Okay. Online people, are you following, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Next, how to add a sheet. Okay, kotta sheet ela create cheyచ్చు. How to create a new sheet using macro script. Okay, so this is the code. Just refer that object, and if you put dot, whatever the actions you can perform, whatever the methods you can perform, you can see everything here. Okay, so just say sheets dot add. It will add a new sheet before the active sheet. Okay, so here what is the active sheet here? Where it got added? Before Ramu, before Ramu. Okay, it will add before Ramu. Right. If you want to add the sheet by giving a name, I want to add the sheet and name it. Okay, in process of automation, you can't retrieve the names. Whatever the sheet name we are adding, we will be utilizing that name across the code, across the project. Okay, so remember to add a sheet by name. How you will add? Without saying sheets, you can't add sheets. Okay, sheets dot add, it will add. If you put dot name, then it will take the name, whatever the name you are giving. Yeah, if I execute, you can see. Okay. Next, if you want to rename, the sheet, generally, if you want to rename, what you will do? What are the manual actions you will do? Okay, sheet ni rename చేయాలంటే ఏం చేస్తారు? Right click on the sheet.
On the workbook or the sheet.
On the sheet only. Sheet means right click on the sheet. That means you know the sheet name which you want to rename. But here you have to say in which sheet you want to rename. Dot name is equal to Ramu. Already I gave Ramu. I am taking as Rahul. Okay. The sheet name which is there with Raghu will be renamed to okay. Yesterday we have seen these examples, basic examples. Okay. And next one is how to refer a single sheet. Okay, sheet ni ela refer cheyచ్చు. ఎలా రిఫర్ చేయొచ్చు? బై షీట్ నేమ్, బై షీట్ పొజిషన్. Okay, by sheet name, by sheet position. What I told you here, by sheet name. This is by sheet name. And the second method is we can refer by sheet position as well, starting from left to right. Now screen, now position lo left to right. Okay, in my screen left to right, my screen left to right. Okay, so sheet 9 is there here? No, right? Sheet 9. For example, you think that you have referred like this, which is not there. Sheet 9. అర్థమైంది? Subscript out of range. There is no sheet with name sheet 9. Okay, right? So now I'll give as Rahul. Now in Rahul, I want a range. That range I want to utilize. Okay, so sheets of Rahul dot inside that sheet, I have a range called A1 to G10. I want this thing to be done. So it is going to. Okay, this is how to refer by sheet name. How to refer a sheet by sheet name. Okay, next one is by sheet position, starting from left to right. Okay, in fifth position, whatever the sheet is there, irrespective of the name, ఏ నేమ్ తోనైనా షీట్ ఫిఫ్త్ లో పొజిషన్ ఏ షీట్ అయినా ఉండండి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్, ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు టేక్ దట్ రేంజ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫిఫ్త్ పొజిషన్? Sheet name? Sheet 1. Okay, is there anything in sheet 1? No, right? So not required. Two methods. One is by sheet name. When you are mentioning sheet name, put double quotes. When you are giving the position, just give the number.
The value date.
Exactly. This is date only here.
Okay. Format.
Out of it.
Only when we want to feed in text, we use WS.
Yes.
And what are the demarcations or the lines in the macro? I mean, ends
And so it's separating the code from which macro, from one macro to another macro. No, automatically you get it here. You need not to line that. Automatically it will separate. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, నేను ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తా చూడండి. సబ్ శ్రీతేజ అని రాస్తా. ఓకే, ఓపెన్ అండ్ క్లోజ్. ఎంటర్ పెట్టితే నాకు సపరేట్ చేసేస్తా. నువ్వు డ్రా చేయని అవసరం ఉంది, ఆటోమేటికలీ ఇట్ విల్ సెపరేట్.
So on the above macro,
Yeah.
WD underscore over.
Mm.
That is the name of the
Macro. Yeah.
So what does sub stand for? Subject.
Subroutine.
Okay.
Sub ante subroutine, which doesn't have any arguments. Okay.
So those are all just names.
Names.
WB underscore create are names.
WB create ante neenu I'm naming a process, I'm naming a macro to create workbook create అని నేను ఇచ్చుకుంటా. You can give Sriteja workbook create, so it will create your name on your name. You have to mention that name as well, but it can be anything. Name can be anything.
Whenever we are working in macro, it should be first the name of the workbook. It's fully qualified name. Workbook dot sheet and then the
Range. Exactly.
range.
Exactly. Yeah. అది అందుకనే నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే అలా ఉండొచ్చు, ఉండకపోవచ్చు. If you're writing the code on the same workbook, do you really need to refer that workbook? Why? Because you are writing on the workbook, right?
Yeah. But, yeah.
For example, I want to write in this workbook only. Do I need to mention the workbook name?
No, not.
I can just tell the sheet name here. Because of that, it's working here. Right? Did I mention any workbook name here?
No.
No, right? Why? Because I'm in the active workbook, in that workbook only. I need not to mention the workbook name here. Directly, it will execute, take the active workbook only. For range, active sheet. For sheets, active workbook. It will take the reference. You need not to refer it manually. అర్థమైంది సార్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అంతే నేను ఏం చేసిన అర్థం కాలేదు టైం పడుతుంది చాలా టైం పడుతుంది
What is the smallest tab called?
This one.
Yeah.
This is project window. How many workbooks you open, it will create those many projects.
Okay, this like
This is batch 638 related to this book only. If I open one more workbook, I can see one more that work with that workbook name, one other project will be. If I open 3 workbooks, I will be getting one more workbook.
project window.
Project window.
Second,
Properties. Whatever the sheet you are activating, it will give that properties. And the code window where we have to write the code. Right? So that's why answer and this is not simple as Excel. ఎందుకంటే ఆ ప్రాసెస్ మొత్తం we have to flip it completely. Whatever the manual process we are doing it in Excel, we have to completely flip it. ఇక్కడ ఏం స్టెప్స్ అయితే మీరు ఎక్సెల్లో చేస్తున్నారో అదే స్టెప్స్ మ్యాక్రోలో స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ రాస్తాం స్క్రిప్ట్లో. అంటే నువ్వు ఎక్సెల్ కరెక్ట్గా వచ్చి ఉంటే ఆ ప్రాసెస్లో నీకు ఆ ప్రాసెస్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, కాపీ పేస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నావు, రిమూవ్ డూప్లికేట్స్ ఎక్కడ చేస్తున్నావు, ఏమేం ఫార్ములాస్ అప్లై చేస్తున్నావు, అవన్నీ నీకు తెలిసి ఉండాలి ఆటోమేషన్ చేసే ముందు. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ వెల్ వర్స్ విత్ ద ప్రాసెస్, యూ కెన్ ఫ్లిప్ దట్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్. ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేసినావు, డేటా వచ్చింది, యూ యాడెడ్ సమ్ కాలమ్స్, క్రియేటెడ్ సమ్ ఫార్ములాస్ టు గెట్ సమ్ సబ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద రిపోర్టింగ్. ఓకే, వచ్చేసింది రిక్వైర్డ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ 3-4 కాలమ్స్ వచ్చేసినాయి. దానికి డేటా ఫిక్స్డ్గా ఉందా లేదా అని చూసుకుంటావు ఫస్ట్. ఎప్పటికీ చేంజ్ అవుతున్నాయి ఆ కాలమ్స్, చేంజ్ అయితే నువ్వేం చేయలేవు, మళ్ళీ ఆర్డర్లో పెట్టుకోవాలి. యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ వన్ మోర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఫర్ టు మేక్ ద data in order. Later on, you will be adding those formulas. After adding those formulas, next step, you will be taking one component, pasting in some other sheet, removing the duplicates. You will be calculating the related things which you are removing the duplicates. Counter some of that. It creates one report of that data. Right, this is completed. This is a report which I have to create. Then after I'll send it to my manager through an Outlook app. Everything will be taken care by VBA. So if you are well versed with the steps which you are doing manually, you can write the script. Script ఏం లేదు, అదే సేమ్ మళ్ళీ workbooks, sheets and range. Repetitive tasks. Large task process. Process అంటాం. Process. Simpler we can automate. It's not a big deal. Simpler also we can automate, but yeah,
not worth the effort.
exactly. Just for process automation only we can use this. Okay. Any questions online? Online. Nishita, Raj, Venkat. Venkat, offline डाला ही वाला.
కొంచెం వర్క్ రాలేదు.
No problem, no problem.
Till now it's clear.
Okay. So next. Sheet. I want to delete a sheet. నేను రాహుల్ sheet ని delete చేస్తున్నా. Okay. రాహుల్ sheet ని delete చేస్తున్నా. I want to delete. You will right click on the sheet, you will be deleting it. In form of code, how you will refer the sheet? అదే sheet అని ఎలా చెప్తావు? sheets of sheet name. Dot delete. That's it. It is going to delete the sheet. But name unda mari sheet name. Yes. So you'll be getting an error. What you'll do? Just rename it. Okay. So e line enduku. I'm commenting it. Commenting ante
It's not part of the code.
it's not part of the code.
Can you use hyphen instead of single quote?
No.
Okay,
If you use like this hyphen,
that's still a part of. Single quote means the commenting.
commenting. You can write anything as a comment.
What is the color of all the text that is purple?
Blue,
Yes, blue.
blue,
Blue, green, that's it.
blue, green, black.
What does blue signify, black signify, and green obviously there is commented out.
Commented.
What does blue and black signify?
Inbuilt functions.
Yeah, okay.
Inbuilt functions. Already those are there.
Okay.
True, false. Like when you write inbuilt things will come in blue color.
Okay.
Already it's there. You have to give mandatorily. True or false. So those things will be in blue color. The black thing which we are writing, which object? Yes. Sub, which is there already. It's in blue color.
Yeah.
Which is there. You need not to specify it especially. So it's already there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm deleting this. You got a notification, right? ఈ నోటిఫికేషన్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే కోడ్ ఆపేస్తుంది ఆ నోటిఫికేషన్ until unless you click on delete. You are writing a process automation where you have to delete a particular sheet. When you are deleting particular sheet, you missed that notification. Process akkada agipotundi. In process automation, there should not be any manual intervention. That automation script should take care of everything. You have to handle it. It's our duty as a developer, we have to handle it. So, if I say, what is that name? What is the thing which I'm giving? What is the statement I'm giving? Is equal to false means whatever the alerts we are getting while executing,
You consider it to be false.
don't show it up. Just bypass it. Okay. Now when I delete Ramu sheet, you see, you will be not getting Ramu 9, sheet 1. When I delete sheet 1, you'll be not getting that action, notification, sorry. What's in the notification? Why? Because of this line. Exactly.
So, right, so before learning how to spell words, we learn alphabets, right? Assuming we learn alphabets. So, how do I imagine that application.display alerts equals to false because of the window? That is a sentence. It seems like a sentence. The complexity of what you wrote seems like a sentence.
Exactly.
Now, what are the alphabets over here? Like
Alphabets.
I understand
Yeah.
subsheet.
Yeah.
Subsheet reference, like that's a name which you gave and it ends up in
Exactly. Right.
And whatever you write as a text, you comment it out with a single.
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
understood.
Right.
Existing functions in the VBA
Yeah.
are shown in blue, and the manual written codes,
Yeah.
hard coding is shown in black.
We are saying it. We are commanding the code.
Yeah, I understand the range. So
Right.
and in the specific range, you have to.
Right.
You're asking it to.
Yes.
put in the list, consider
Yes.
data.
Yes.
But
Mm.
in SQL, we have few comments, right? Like
Exactly.
where clause, in
Mm.
between, comparison operators, right? So that those form the basic of an Excel. Excel is basically a select. It is both basically English and few words. But what is the syntax of macros?
Syntax of macros, nothing but it's a pure object-oriented program. Okay. There is no predefined syntax. Syntax means again you are coming into pure programming language.
Okay.
That's I'll be starting later on. We are just talking about objects, what we can do with the help of objects.
Okay.
Okay. This is not into pure programming. This is Excel related objects. How can you handle Excel related objects I'm talking about. Again, you can automate Word document. Again, there will be, instead of sheets, there will be document.
Yeah.
If you're talking about PowerPoint, again, there will be slides. Slide one, dot presentation again. So for different applications, there are different objects. So now here I'm talking about how to handle what are the real-time situations of handling Excel object model in real time. How can you handle that? These objects, Excel objects, only 3 objects. Inside you have a lot more. I'll tell you, I'll talk about later on. But if you don't know workbooks as an object, if you don't know sheets as an object, if you don't know range as an object, how you will be working on this? This is not about, just like I'm making you habituating of how to use the methods and properties of a particular object. Okay. Range ni ilage mention cheyali, range lo ivanni untayi. Sheet ni ilage mention cheyali, aa sheet lo ivanni, sheet anedi oka object. Aa sheet lo if you put dot, you will be getting all these actions. You can take anything with the help of the sheet. Sheets. వర్క్బుక్ కోడ్కి ఎలా అర్థమవుతుంది? ఆ కోడ్కి అర్థమయ్యే దాంట్లో మనం ఎలా రాస్తాం? ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్కి, ఈ వర్క్బుక్ని, ఈ షీట్ని, ఈ రేంజ్ని ఎలా యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకునేదే ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ప్యూర్లీ అబౌట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్, హౌ టు యూస్ దోస్ ఎక్సెల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఇన్ యువర్ రియల్ టైం. ఇప్పుడు అండి
Existing function, right? False, true.
Yes,
sum,
yes,
and all.
yes.
For that, you don't have to use double quotes.
No.
Because it's not a text.
No, it's not a text.
Okay. So whatever function which exists in the Excel, let's say VLOOKUP, right? We need not type it in quotes. So quotes is when we, whatever you're typing in quotes is text.
Exactly. It's a predefined one, it's a constant.
Yeah. Okay. So what are other things which you need to remember, that quotes are used for text which is across almost all data platforms.
Yeah, any data driven, anything. If you go for any programming language, any database, you will be finding different data types. Okay. In any programming language, all the strings are in between double quotes. Those are the static words. You cannot change anything. Okay. If you take any programming language, there are different number types, number data types. Whole numbers, one data type. Decimals, one data type. Text, one data type. Date is another data type. Okay. So different data types. Okay. If you come to that data types, you will come to know how to deal with numbers, how to deal with text. But these are predefined names that you have to put. It's a constant, it's already available in the sheet.
Yeah.
If you are not defined what it is saying, it's not at all there. Subscript out of range. Subscript out of range means there is something which is not there, you are still utilizing it. It's the meaning of the error.
So I will come back to the fully qualified name again.
Mm.
So workbook is not a fully qualified name. Workbooks.
Workbooks. There are n number of workbooks. In which workbook you want to work?
Dot sheets, not sheet.
Not sheets. There are m number of sheets. In which sheet you want to work?
Yeah. And dot and what? Dot
Range. Yes.
Yeah.
Dot means inside. Inside. Part of workbooks. Part of means workbooks. You can't save the sheet. You can't save the sheet. You can save the workbook only. Okay. Related to workbooks, you have methods and properties. But inside that workbook, again, there are separate objects. Like for example, this is a room. This is a workbook. Okay. Room number. How you will identify this room number? Room number. Rooms of room number. Done. Okay. What you can do in the room? Anything. Anything you can do in the room. There are 4 walls. It's a property of the room, not the chairs. Workbooks dot save means related to workbook only. Right. 4 walls are there in the room. Okay. There is a basement. It's a part of room. It's a part of room. Roof. It's a part of room. Wall. Part of room. I have height of this wall. It's a part of room. Okay. But inside the room, what objects are present? There is a bed. Suppose think. Rooms of room 1 dot. Beds of bed 1. There may be n number of beds. Or chairs. For example, we are sitting in room number 1. Rooms of room number 1. Dot. Chairs, there are n number of chairs. In which chair you are sitting? Locate the chair. Third position. What is the name of the person who is sitting? Right. So it goes like this. That's why I clearly mentioned about this hierarchy. First workbooks, then after sheets, then after range or cells.
Any macro is also predefined.
Exactly. If you know this and the little programming, you can play with macros. I'm sure. Why? Because the ultimate goal is to work on Excel tasks only.
Yeah.
VBA. What objects you will be finding? Workbooks only, sheets only, range. What else are there? అదే కదా ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాయి ఈ మూడే ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి ఇంకేముంటాయి రైట్ దాంట్లో కొన్ని ఫార్ములాస్ ఎలా అప్లై చేస్తాం రేంజ్ లోనే అప్లై చేస్తాం మళ్ళీ రైట్ డాట్ అండ్ షీట్స్ విల్ బి అప్లైయింగ్ ఆన్ రేంజ్ హౌ టు అప్లై హౌ టు లూప్ ద రేంజ్ ఓకే హౌ టు అప్లై ద ఫార్ములాస్ హౌ టు టేక్ ద సమ్ ఫార్ములా all those when you try to incorporate few things you will come to know then after the same thing you will be implementing it అర్థమైంది తెలియ నిన్న వస్తే మంచిగా ఉన్నాను ఎందుకు రాలేదు ఓకే సో నెక్స్ట్ hide and unhide hiding a sheet unhiding a sheet రాము షీట్ ఉందా hide unhide false అంటే hide true అంటే false అంటే hide true అంటే unhide
Now it's hidden, right?
No.
Okay, now it's present.
See here.
Yeah, now it's present.
It's hidden.
When is the first step of the macro? It doesn't show down. And when you're on the what is it? When you're on first object, first line, it is sub underscore hide underscore unhide. Not
Under execution.
It's
Under execution.
Yeah, it's going down.
Executed.
Oh, okay.
First line is executed. It comes to the object.
First line doesn't have any significance because it's
No,
object.
it's an object. Okay. Now, while executing this line, it will check. If it is present, it will execute.
Okay.
If not, it will throw an error.
Present, now it disappeared.
Yes. Okay. Next. This is very important, guys. How to create a workbook in a particular path. Generally, how you are going to create a workbook in a particular path? Generally, if I ask you to create.
Directly open.
Directly, example, let's check here, okay? Let's do. I'm opening a blank workbook.
Blank.
Okay. You'll be clicking on Control S. You'll do save or save as.
Save as for the very first.
Save as for the very first time. Save as. You are browsing. You have to give the path, file name. You have to select the file extension. If it is macro file, you have to put it in different extension. If it is Excel file, you have to put it different extension.
Excel.xlsx. Macro.
XLSM.
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 Okay. This is the method.
Okay.
You have to see.
Macro.
Yeah.
And to read macro files, suppose macro is not enabled in my system and in your system, macro is enabled. So even if you share, I will not be able to read the file will, I will be able to view the file, but I will not be able to execute the function because macro is not enabled in my system.
Exactly. And you can't see the developer tab, right?
Yeah, I can't develop.
You can't say developer tag, you can't. Unless you open, if you see all those, even when you first time, if you're opening, macros are disabled and you will be getting a notification.
Okay, even if the developer is enabled for the very first.
Not enabled. Not enabled, macros are there. Not enabled, macro security is disabled. You will be getting a notification. Macros are disabled in your machine. the next thing you have to do it immediately. You have to enable developer tab, go to macro security, enable all macros.
I think the important to enable macros.
Macro security, why it is every time you will be getting the alert whenever you open any macro file.
Okay, so you will be getting that because you are the primary creator. So let's say
If I send you a macro file,
yeah,
macros are disabled in your machine.
right.
Okay. When you enable, you can run the macro.
Sure, obviously.
Right. When you disable, it is throwing the notification, right?
Yeah.
Macros are disabled in your machine. Please enable.
Okay. Okay, so that dialog window is functionality of dialog window is controlled through macro security.
Exactly. Right. So if you enable macros, it will come to know. So that next time when he's enabled the macros, he already enabled, don't do that. So it will open directly and you can execute directly. No need of doing any enabling macros. Okay. So, right, you are giving this all steps, you can write it in one line in with macros.
Okay.
Okay. Right. All these steps you can write it in one line. So how I wrote, let's see. To adding the sheet, what is the object I've used?
Okay.
Sheets.
Sheets.
Sheets dot add.
Right.
That means it got added a sheet.
Yeah.
For workbooks, workbooks dot add.
Okay.
It will create a new workbook. Same, how I created blank workbook, it will create some blank workbook. Okay. What is the next step?
We try to give a name, so we will save as.
Save as. Okay.
Save as.
Simple. After that, what is the next step you have to?
We name the file.
Name the file. How to name the file? You have to give this argument file name colon equal to. Then you have to give the path and the file name.
Okay. So this path, I pick this path. How do you pick this path? Like, I want to put you in C drive in users in high in desktop in CNT path and so on.
Same way here, how we will be picking it.
Okay. So this path you will anyways have to pick
Manually.
Manually, you have to pick the path.
There also manually you are going to browsing the path and you are going to do manually only.
Yeah, but we'll be using cursor, we'll be clicking on files usually.
Okay. Here you will be selecting the path. You will be going to the macro window. You'll be going to the macro window. Okay. You'll be removing this, pasting this slash. This is the file.
Okay, batch file is the name of the file and the file format which are saving in is .Excelytics.
Right.
But since you're using macros, we call this macros.
Exactly.
Yeah, since we're using macros, why are you not saving it as a macro file? Or wouldn't it automatically save it as a macro file?
Okay. We are calling from one workbook to we are creating another workbook.
Okay.
So macros is in my workbook,
Okay.
not on the destination workbook.
Not on the new workbook.
Yes, not required.
So that is
From this
format again.
Exactly. So we are invoking another object.
Okay.
Just to create this object in a particular path, we are saying. Excel is an application. Workbooks are multiple objects. That's why I am not telling workbooks.add means it will create only one workbook at a time. Multiple workbooks you cannot create at a time. Okay, sorry, for the workbooks create kaadu. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other.
Oh.
Okay. Workbooks.add, save as, file name, where you want to create the path and the file name with extension. And so this is going to execute, not that file.
Now let's name the file as
yes, I named it. Okay.
Batch file.
Yeah, batch file.
Can we change the file? I want to see the file.
I changed the path. It is going to execute now. Okay. Now, so from this workbook, I'm invoking another object.
Okay.
How many objects are there? How many workbooks are there? 2. Do you know in which workbook you have to work?
Yeah, the first primary. So
no, in this we have to work.
Okay.
Why I am creating this workbook? I have to work something on this workbook. Use that workbook. So I want to use this workbook. From macro workbook, I have created one more object, one more workbook. So without knowing the object name, can it identify this workbook?
No, it can't.
That's why I'm giving the workbook name.
Okay, workbook.
Workbooks.
Workbooks. Why is it in bracket?
Yeah, I want to use this file. I already told you this is a static name which I want to use automatically. In double quotes, that is a fixed name. It's a constant.
That's a name.
Yes, that's a name.
Why is it there in brackets?
It's the way of defining.
Okay.
In double quotes, you have to mention it. Here also I kept brackets, you see.
Yeah. Okay.
You see, here also I kept in brackets.
So whenever you are referring to any text,
Any object,
any object,
particular object. Bracket open, double quotes. See, here also I can keep it here.
and why are you using semicolon and directly equal to?
There is, we can't. Okay. When you say workbooks dot add dot save as space, there is a file name which is in square bracket. Do you know in Excel formula there is a square brackets?
Yeah.
Which are optional.
Optional, not.
Here for those when you're giving inputs, you have to put colon equal.
Okay. Colon equal to is nothing but square bracket.
Arguments.
Yeah.
Arguments which you need to pass, you must pass.
Oh, these are mandatory arguments.
Not mandatory, optional. But when you're using it, you have to tell that. See, here it is asking for file name. You're giving file name colon equal to. If you're using file format colon equal to what is the format you have. If you're using password protected, password colon equal to you have to. But the same thing, you can't say workbooks dot add dot colon equal to save as that. No. This is related to completely related to object. But I'm using some part of argument in save as. Okay. File name is in square bracket. So I have to put colon equal. In later, when we are using few objects, you'll come to know. Remove duplicates. I'll tell you at that time. There will be remove duplicates in which column you are removing. Adding filter. You will just say filter. But in which filter? In filter, there are arguments. In that filter, if there are any square bracket arguments, you have to put colon equal to.
Yeah, because
yeah. You can utilize that or you can ignore that. If you are utilizing it, put that name colon equal to.
And you've put that is the fully column, the path.
Exactly.
You're putting the path in normal brackets because that is mandatory.
Not mandatory. Even if you can put or you can remove this. Not a mandatory.
Okay, so let's say now Raghu is in brackets.
Yeah.
Now can you remove the brackets? Brackets. And now even if you execute it, it's an error. End of screen.
Yeah. So for objects, you have to. Particular object you have to mention.
Okay.
Sheet option. Okay. Clear? Still. In case no problem.
And
Inka. Clear? Okay. Let me execute this. Nick execute just to be See, this is not a simple thing here. In experience ఉంటుంది ఇవన్నీ గుర్తుంటాయి లేకపోతే ఏది గుర్తుంటాయి so you have to remember this so for the first time when you are listening you will be getting lot of questions అది వస్తేనే సబ్జెక్ట్ రాకపోతేనే కదా ఇక్కడ కూర్చో so you have to get questions you have to practice it get hands on అప్పుడు మాత్రమే you can get this if not programming is not an easy job automation is not an easy job so yes ఈ డిస్కషన్ లో ఎక్కడో కాడ యూ విల్ ఫైండ్ సంథింగ్ గుర్తుకుండాలి కంపల్సరీ బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద మెథడ్ డెఫినెట్లీ ఓకే సి నౌ ఐఎమ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటింగ్ created the file within one statement okay save as so I'm deleting this I don't want to use this okay automatically next step ki velipothundi
next step is you are adding a sheet
in that workbook only
yeah in the destination book yeah
whatever the workbook I mentioned already here
yeah.
okay ఆ workbook లో యాడ్ అయిపోతుంది okay
now we are dealing with the
range
and you want in range A1 to G10 you want dates
exactly okay ఒక్కసారి ఇప్పుడు అయింది కదా we'll see the actions what it performed perform అయిందా రఘు షీట్ యాడ్ అయిందా A1 to G10 లో డేట్ వచ్చింది వచ్చింది కదా. Now I want to save and I want to close automatically.
Okay.
Save and close. అయిపోయింది, done. My job is done.
So now can the workbook close?
Yes, it is closed.
Yeah.
You want me to open? ఇప్పుడే క్రియేట్ అయింది.
That's right. Okay.
అదే కదా మనం చేసింది. ఓకే తేజ, డన్, ఇట్స్ ఓవర్, డన్. Okay, this is how in real time when you want to create a workbook, when you want to add something, when you want to save, when you want to close, most of the real time projects you can write in between. అందుకనే గ్యాప్ ఇచ్చారు. This is just a work which we have to work in that workbook. Remaining all are same. The creation of the workbook is same, save and close is same.
Yeah.
But in between, whatever the task you are performing, you have to write in between.
Okay.
Creation and save. Okay. So how to open an existing workbook? Okay. So now, if you want to open any workbook, as a human, as a person, we will go to that path. Double click on the file, then we will open. Right?
Right.
Here also, workbooks.open, file name, give the path and the file name. Save and close is common. In between, whatever you want to perform actions in that, you can write.
That is sheet name drum.
Yeah.
And that is range.
Yeah.
That A1 to sheet.
Okay.
Options. When you put a full stop, right, we get a drop down with many options. I want to see what are the options we have. Stop. So these are what are the options? Okay, let's go just to add option. Very first, yeah. Okay, add.
Related to workbooks.
What
Okay.
does application do?
Application is nothing but Excel application.
Okay. Yeah.
Excel application. Okay.
And
Check out.
What is the green and what is the square? mean?
Okay.
Different
Okay.
icons are
Right.
there.
Green ones are called actions.
Okay.
Adding action.
Okay.
Close action.
Right.
Save action.
So the main ones.
Main ones.
Major ones.
Okay. Count how many workbooks are there. You are not performing action.
Yeah.
You are just counting the objects. Okay. Creator. Who is the creator of the workbook?
Right.
Item. Open. Just now you see. It's an action. Opening is opening. It's a task.
Open
Action.
list of tasks.
X.
Okay.
A different form of object. I have not used all this. Okay. The green ones are methods. Hand ones are properties of that particular.
Have you covered?
No.
We
Yeah.
will going to cover in the next.
No.
Not important.
Those, see, with text files, you can't do anything.
Right.
With XML, you can't do anything in with VBA.
Yeah.
With XMLs.
XML gold part.
Yeah, yes,
That's
right.
what we done.
So here only we are dealing with workbooks as an object, sheets is an object, range as an object.
So they are all not necessary, not important. Okay.
All the real-time things I'm just discussing right away.
What is it? Add, open, save, close.
That's it.
Okay.
What else we will do with the help of workbook in real time? Just tell me.
No, we just create a workbook,
Ah.
add a workbook,
Mm.
open a workbook,
Mm.
name a workbook,
Mm.
and save.
Apart from this, are you going to do anything? With your knowledge. With your knowledge. That's what we have seen, right? Same thing, coming to sheets. You will create a sheet. You will name a sheet. You will rename a sheet. You will delete the sheet. Apart from this, are you going to do anything?
Save. Yeah.
We are not going to save the sheet. We have to save the workbook.
Right. Sheets exist inside the workbook. So you
Yes,
save the workbook.
exactly. Apart from this,
Nothing else.
in real time, in real world,
maybe if you want to save a certain file in different format.
It will save. That you need to have the permissions of object or not object, file system objects. Here we are talking about only Excel. That's interlinked to file system objects. File system objects. File system objects means dealing with different formats of files. Text files.
That doesn't concern us.
I'll show you. Some part of the objects I'll show you. Why? Because one file I want to move from one path to another path. Excel cannot make that. VB cannot make that. VB is a programming language which is utilized to code Excel application. We are learning till Excel application. But scripting runtime is one more library. We have to add that library for VB. Then we have to work with file system objects, moving files from one location to another location, copying the files, reading the text file, opening the text file. What is the content which is present in the text file will be handled by file system object, not this object.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Open read and all that system and all.
Yes.
Also, so when you specify range, obviously it is range from A1 to
something. End cell.
End.
Diagonal range.
Diagonal, obviously.
Itla.
But
Itla.
From left top to right bottom.
Yes. ఇట్లనే కదా మన range A1 నుంచి G10 ఇలా చెప్తే ఇది మొత్తం వస్తుంది.
Right. Okay. But also, apart from that, when we work manually, right, when you use the mouse cursor, you obviously go through different tabs, file tab, data tab, etc., etc. So, how do we tell the VBA or the macro to do all that?
Exactly. So that's why I'm telling, if you are well versed with the process.
Okay.
What?
Basically,
exactly.
Sum if, count if, and all is in the very
yeah, those are the part of calculations.
Okay.
I'm talking about the process. For example, you are opening the workbook.
Okay.
You are adding the columns. Just now I told you. You are adding the columns, extracting some data.
Adding columns, adding values.
Adding values.
Okay.
Adding values in the column, nothing but you are extracting something from the existing data.
Okay.
Some information which is needed to measuring our metric, right? You are getting this, you are getting that values. Next step, what is the next step?
We will perform any activity on the object and we pull the desired result from it.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
In the whole process, are you touching any application? Are you touching any cursor? Are you touching any information which is outside of the workbook?
No.
Open the workbook, add some data, get the required information, do some calculations or whatever the automation scripts you have to write to take care of everything, the steps which is needed for the processing that automation. You are completing that, you are saving that, you are closing. మధ్యలో ఈ కర్సర్ లింక్ మనం ఎక్కడ చేయలేదు. And that too repetitive task అని ఫస్ట్ నుంచి చెప్తున్నా.
Yeah.
Repetitive. If it is changing rapidly, to develop that script only, it will take time. How you will give the solution immediately? మరి possibility లేదు కదా. Right, Teja? Right? So this is how we will be opening the workbook. Same thing. Okay, open, do something, save and close. Okay. Yesterday till this part we have seen. Okay, today we will see the range properties. Inside the range, there are something which how we will be handling all those things. Okay, inside the range. For example, let me prepare some data. We'll format that data. Format ante Teja? Decoration. Makeup. Formatting means makeup. Okay, so ఇప్పుడు నీకు ఒక చిన్న ప్రాసెస్ చెప్తా చూడు. ఆటోమేషన్ స్క్రిప్ట్ తర్వాత చెప్తాను. ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ యూ గైస్. ఓకే, ఇవాళనే కవర్ చేస్తారు. యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో. ఎందుకు ఏది ఎట్లా వర్క్ అవుతుంది, అసలు ఆటోమేషన్ ఎందుకు, బటన్ ఎందుకు ప్రెస్ చేస్తాం అనేది యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో టుడే. నీకు ఒక కంప్లీట్ పిక్చర్ వచ్చు అర్థం. ఓకే అంటే when we are automating a particular process, that button will be taking care of everything. When you click on the button, it will completely execute the execution and it will give you the output. మధ్యలో ఏం జరుగుతుంది ఏంటి అనేది యూ హ్యావ్ టు హ్యాండిల్ ఇన్ ద కోడ్. ఓకే, సింపుల్. నౌ సబ్ ఫాంట్ రిలేటెడ్ థింగ్స్, ఫాంట్ యాక్షన్స్. ఓకే, ఫాంట్ ఏమైనా చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఏమంటుంది, ఇక్కడ సింగిల్ బటనే కదా, సింగిల్ బటన్, సింగిల్ బటన్, దిస్ ఇస్ సింగిల్ బటన్. Italic is also single button. Okay, if you go to here, multiple things drop down. For font size, for color, borders, underline, underline, there are two. Let's see. Now we are discussing about only font. Only font. Okay, let's put some font in this range, A1 to G10. Excel is the font. Without selecting the range, will you make the text as bold?
No, we won't.
Kada?
We'll select the range.
We'll select the range. What is the range I am using?
A1 to B10.
మీరు చెప్పిందే రాస్తున్నా. A1 to G10. I'm going to select this range. ఇలానే కదా ప్రోగ్రామ్లో సెలెక్ట్ చేసేది రేంజ్. ఓకే, డాట్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ వన్, రేంజ్. ఇవి టూ బటన్స్ కాబట్టి ట్రూ ఆర్ ఫాల్స్. అందుకే చెప్పిన ఫస్ట్ ఆ టూ బటన్స్, టూ ఆప్షన్స్, క్లిక్ ట్రూ, అన్క్లిక్ ఫాల్స్.
And
Okay.
does it auto capitalize true? Because when you wrote true, you T was in small case, not in capital.
ఆటో క్యాపిటల్స్
Auto capitals.
అన్నాను. ఓకే, సో యా,
Underline.
అండర్లైన్ వీల్స్ చెప్తా కొన్ని.
Two options.
యా, టూ ఆప్షన్స్ నేను చెప్తా. నెక్స్ట్ రేంజ్ A1 to G10. అండర్లైన్ కదా, అండర్లైన్ యూ హ్యావ్ సబ్ ఆప్షన్స్.
Yeah.
ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ డాట్. ఫాంట్, మళ్ళీ ఫాంట్, డాట్.
Size. Okay. Oh. 15.
ఎనీథింగ్ 15, 16 ఏమన్నా పెట్టుకోండి.
We can't
Anything
put,
is
we can't put 13 because the option of 13 doesn't exist.
13 ఇవ్వచ్చు, 13 ఉంది. let me give. Okay,
But it showed in multiple.
చూడరు.
So
యా,
that's why I
ఒక్క
was
నిమిషం, ఒక్క నిమిషం. మనం ఇవ్వాలి
we
13.
have manually put
యా,
this.
మాన్యువల్లీ పుట్,
Yeah.
అది మనం.
Right.
ఓకే, I gave 12, let's give 15.
All right.
Okay, font size we are done. Okay, font size, what else are there with the related to font? Font color,
Yeah, font, take color of the text.
color of the text. I'm talking only about the font here.
Why did we use BB?
There are 3 different types in taking the colors. Okay, first one is VB, ends with VB should be prefix
And
give the color name. Second one is the color number.
okay, color numbers, yes. That
Okay,
I use.
okay. Third one is hexadecimal numbers, which I'll tell you at last. First two things remember, last thing I'll tell you why, because the color combinations అనేది అవన్నీ మనం గుర్తు పెట్టుకోలేము, అది నేను గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవాలి అవసరం లేదని చెప్పి.
Yeah, right.
Hexadecimal 0FFF something,
Yeah.
you have to capture that color and just give us a.
Understand.
Okay.
Not-
And ఇంకొకటి ఉంటుంది RGB,
Yeah.
రెడ్ గ్రీన్ బ్లాక్. RGB we have to give 250, 250, 250.
Okay.
Color thickness. So when you're changing the numbers 250, 250, 250, less than or equal to 0 to 250, less than or equal to 0 to 250, less than or equal to 0 to 250. 250, 250, 250 are the thick colors of RGB. Okay. When you're changing these numbers between 0 to 250, you will be getting some color percentages. ఆ కలర్స్ నేమ్స్ నేను గుర్తుపెట్టుకోలేదు. చాలా కలర్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో యూ కెన్ మాడిఫై ఇన్ దట్ వే. బట్ VB is the standard. VB and number is the standard one. Okay, very simple to remember. Okay, if you want the color, if you want to customize, I'll show you how to take that number, then you can give. Okay.
Also,
Hmm.
when we are functioning, okay, on a specific range
Hmm.
or specific cell,
Hmm.
we can also color the cell, right?
అదే కదా బ్యాక్ అది చెప్తా, అది ఇంకా రాలే. ఓకే, వీఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఓన్లీ ఫాంట్. ఓకే, ఇంకా వాట్ ఎల్స్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద ఫాంట్?
But that we type.
It's a formula.
Oh, select the font style.
Font style. Okay, with your knowledge, apart from this, are you going to use anywhere any of these, any other things, whatever I mentioned, as per your knowledge, not with my knowledge, with your knowledge, are you going to select anything apart from this?
Strike through.
It's there. Strike through is there, but through automation we are not going to do a specific strike through section.
Okay.
అది డాట్ స్ట్రైక్ త్రూ అంటే వచ్చేస్తుంది. బట్ స్ట్రైక్ త్రూ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్, నేను ఇచ్చిన కోడ్ కంటే ఇంకేమైనా ఎక్స్ట్రా యూటిలైజ్ చేస్తారా మీరు? కెన్ యూ థింక్ అబౌట్ అండ్ జస్ట్ లెట్ మీ నో ఎనీథింగ్ ఇన్ రియల్ వరల్డ్? క్లియర్, డాట్ క్లియర్ అంటే అయిపోతుంది అంతే. డాట్ క్లియర్. ఫాంట్ రిలేటెడ్ థింగ్స్ లో వాట్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్ విచ్ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్, is there any other thing which you are going to utilize in real world more than this, right? You know how to, which range you have to apply, you know what are the properties of font, now you came to know. Can't you reutilize the same code? Ade kada, the intent of this training is you reutilize the code, modify your code, just complete your tasks. నువ్వేం చేయనక్కర్లే, ఇక్కడ అన్ని ఉన్నాయి కదా. You need not to do anything, just take this, modify the code, reuse, just like ChatGPT. Okay, let's see. Excel. Okay, yeah, bold, italic, font size, font color, Arial black. Okay, see here, bold, italic, font size, font color. What else you need?
So now we are dealing with the values inside the cell,
Hmm.
right? But do we also deal with inputting the values and clearing the values in the cell? Like he said, clear. We want all, so have it already been discussed? Oh, that is not required.
Yes, I'm just talking about objects, how we are going to utilize. After completing all this, I'll do some real-time exercises. Then you will come to know how to utilize.
And you selected me like use some keys on the keyboard, right? To select and justify and size of the columns. What do you use?
Alt H O I here, just Control A, Alt H O I.
Okay.
Out of it, column width.
Okay.
Hmm. Same thing you can do with macros also. Out of it, column width.
Instead of alt HOI, like If you're using it manually, use the mouse cursor to adjust each of it.
Exactly. How many columns you will do here? Not
Oh.
not at all required.
So
This,
attach query is the.
yeah, how many columns you'll do? For example, for 10 columns, 10 times you have to adjust. Not at all required, right? Okay. Online people, are you getting me? Any questions? People, you are listening very calm. Nishita, Manjan, Raj, Venkat.
Understood, understood.
Understood,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. This is about the font. Tell them, move to the next one. Okay. Next one. Next one, background color. Okay.
What you want to get into happen, everything we do. What is interior color?
Which one? Which one? Interior. No, no, no. Interior is nothing but background color here.
Okay, okay. Okay, got it.
Background color. Okay.
Font is font, interior is background color.
Background color. Font color, interior means in background color means interior. You have to remember. Related to font, in range there is a font dot. In range there is interior, nothing but the background color. Okay. In range you have borders.
True.
Right. Borders style, that is called line style. Which line you want? Excel continuous.
Okay.
Okay. Chepta. I want dotted borders. I remembered only 3 to 4 years. Mainly Excel continuous we can use. What is that Excel continuous? Exactly. Okay. Excel continuous means all borders.
Also, only the outline, what's that? I mean, in the selected range, I only want the outline part. Okay.
That we have to design.
Okay.
We have to identify the code.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So borders dot line style. Excel continuous means all borders. Dotted borders. No borders. Double borders.
Most frequently used is Excel continuous.
Just you can copy the code and you can read it. No need to worry.
You can write what is the VBA for like Excel continuous border.
Yeah, you can write. You can give anything. If you want, you can write that as well. And let me show. Yeah. Continuous to Excel slant dash dot.
Okay.
Those many we have. Okay. Excel edge left, loop through Excel left edge, inside horizontal, Excel continuous, Excel sand, Excel thin, Excel medium, common line, common things. Based on our requirement, we can create. It's very easy. Don't think that. I'll tell you. But at this point of time, these are required. Take this. Outline border, I'll show you how to get that code. A code ela generate చేయాలనేది I'll tell you how to generate that code. Okay, but not now. After completing classes. లేకుంటే రికార్డ్ చేసి వస్తుంది కదా అంటారు. Every time you keep on.
Is it not predefined?
Which one? Predefined. Yeah, నేను గుర్తుపెట్టుకున్నది కొన్ని. అన్ని నేను గుర్తుపెట్టుకున్నాను. Whatever required, I've just remembered. What is not required, I just kept ignored it. But if you just record it, you will be getting that code. A line వచ్చేస్తుంది code. Recording మన కాన్సెప్ట్ ఉంది. No. I'll cover it then. Why? Because people every time they think that if you record everything, everything will happen.
Yeah.
Recording is not every time required. Okay. So when we record, when we don't know the code, we can record and we can reutilize that code. Especially recording is meant for that. But what people will do for each and every situation, they'll record and they'll reutilize. So first we'll learn the coding, then after we'll see how to reutilize the code for the recording. అప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ మీరు ఏమేమి కావాలనుకునే అన్ని స్ట్రైక్ త్రూ అవుట్లైన్ బార్డర్ అవన్నీ దెన్ యూ కెన్ రికార్డ్ అండ్ యూ కెన్ రీయూటిలైజ్ కోడ్ వస్తుంది మనకి ఎక్సెల్లో రికార్డ్ వస్తుంది మనకి for each and every action, it will generate some code. That code we can reutilize. But what is that line you have to identify? How to identify? When you practice, you'll come to. Okay. Right, borders done. Borders done. Next, what else we have? We'll see alignments. Alignments. Okay. Yeah.
I need to select the text so that.
I've selected like this. Control C. My mouse, my hands are very చెప్పి ఎట్లా అయిపోయిందన్న okay, so what is this?
Alignment of the text inside the cell.
Yeah, horizontal alignment. There are two alignments. What are they? Exactly. So whatever we did, this is horizontal one. This is vertical one. Okay. So yep. This is horizontal alignment. Vertical, do you use vertical?
We don't use unless we use.
అది గుర్తుకున్నది కాబట్టి చెప్తున్నా. వెరీ సింపుల్.
Particularly, you only use when you need to point at center. That means the point is center. right now.
Yeah.
These steps are repeated seldom. Like people don't use like the text, the text value inside the cell to be aligned right or the left or top or bottom, right? No one uses all the time. Just
Some or the other time at part of time when you're doing.
yeah,
ఎవడో వచ్చి ఎక్కడో కాడ ఇది ఎట్లా అని అడిగితే అప్పుడు చెప్తుంది. అప్పటి వరకు మనం యూస్ చేయమని మోస్ట్లీ as far as I know. Okay, so right, left, center, top, bottom. Right, done. Any questions? Any questions? Online people, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. After the alignments, what are the next thing? Much not required. True. See here, I'll show you. That does it have any extra options for wrap? For bold, we have any extra? For italic, we have any option? We are just clicking the button, true or false. For wrap text also, we are just clicking the button. That's why true or false.
Okay, only singular function.
Only singular functions are true or false. Right.
Oh, for merge?
Merge, we have multiple options here in merge. See,
Yeah.
merge cells, merge center, all this we have. Merge across. Okay. So this is about merge. Right? If you wanted to see, for example, let me I'm opening a new sheet. I'm just writing my name. If you want to merge. Okay. Clear? Right? Now, if you want to write a code, automation script, okay, I'm giving the data, format that data. Okay. Serial number 1, 2, select 1 and 2 till 20. Okay. Names, name 1. Every time I will be getting this data, I have to format it. Okay. I have to decorate it. Till now, we have just completed only formatics. So we are just dealing with some real-time scenario. Whenever I'm getting this data, I have to format this data. That's it. I don't want to do it manually. Once the data comes, I'll just click the button. I'll say quit. Okay. How to do that? Okay. We'll take a break. Later on, I'll tell you. I'll have a tea and I'll come back. Okay, guys. Hello. Venkat.
Okay, sir.
Chai
Yes,
ke
sir.
liye sasta.
Okay, okay.
Nishita ma'am, just I'll be
Yes,
going
sir.
for tea. I'll be coming back within 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Just I'm going on mute. Yes, I am back. Everyone, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, please.
Yes. No. No. Sub formatting. Okay, formatting. Range A1 to G1, H1. Okay. Okay. ఇది ఆల్రెడీ మనం చెప్పుకున్నాము, ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది. Whenever you come across, just you reutilize this line. Okay. Hmm? Hmm. So every time when I get this data, these are the actions I'm going to, these are the things which I'm going to perform. Actions ananu. These are the tasks I'm going to perform. One by one, one by one. Okay. Chalo, right? So now I'm executing this. Bold has happened. Green borders. Okay. This is the job I have to do every time. My job is done. Okay. Chalo. Let me do one more thing. I'm clearing this. Clear formats. Okay. Going to insert. Inserting a shape. Okay. Naming that object for what I'm doing with that object. నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నా అది రాస్తున్నా. Applying format అనేది చేద్దాం. That code I will assign to this object. Done. My job is done. Let me format this. Okay. Let me format this and just make it look and feel like a professional button. Manchi. Okay. Go to shape format and okay. ఇలా పెట్టుకోండి. Okay. What is the macro name here? What is the macro name?
Formatting.
Right click on the object. Do you have formatting assign macro in this drop down?
Yeah. Last but
What is the function name which I want to assign?
formatting.
Okay. When I get this data, I will not work manually.
Okay. One apply format. But
అర్థమైంది ఇప్పుడు హోల్ ప్రాసెస్ ఓల్డ్ ఇంటెంట్. ఇది ఏంటంటే ఫర్ సింపుల్ ప్రాసెస్ నేను చిన్న ఆటోమేషన్ చేసిన. థింక్ అబౌట్ ద బిగ్ థింగ్. దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఆటోమేట్ and you will be assigning and you will be giving it to the end users. Okay. So when they come across this, they'll be just doing when they get this.
right. So that button, sir, I mean, it doesn't exist in the file which you get. Right? మనకు వచ్చిన file లో the file which you receive, this apply formatting button doesn't exist. So
ఇది ఇక్కడ కూడా యాడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు మీరు. ఇదొక యూటిలిటీ టూల్, అందరికి ఇవ్వాలి ఈ ఫైల్. It's a utility you have developed for this process. You have to share it through everyone. They will open whenever they come across this data, they have to press this.
Okay, what I thought was we'll get the data, then I thought we'll transfer the data into a certain file which has apply formatting option, and then I thought the data is exceeding the range.
Yeah,
Only macro.
this is fixed,
This is fixed.
fixed range.
Instead of writing the script again,
Yeah,
is there any third?
next week మనం నేర్చుకుందాం. At a time అన్ని చెప్పలేను. I don't want to make you too confused.
Right.
Step by step will be. Till this, whatever the knowledge you are having right now, ఇక్కడ వరకే పరిమితం. Don't go beyond. But everything will be covered. ఎందుకంటే కన్సిలేషన్ knowledge, the process, consolidation, cancellation, both are same. నాకు తెలిసినంత వరకు conciliation, reconciliation, consolidation, bifurcation, all these are similar thing. 90% of the projects are related to reconciliation and segregating the data. 90% of the project in real time. I worked in many projects, many VBA projects, where every time data will come, I have to split it or I have to join together. I'll be getting month on month data. I have to do some calculations. I have to put it in one format that should go to a certain database. Append. This should happen every month. Pivot table apply చేస్తా, ఒక ఫార్మాట్ తీసుకొస్తా, చేస్తా, అక్కడ ఈ మంత్ ఎండ్ వరకు whatever the month end, whatever the data which I am getting, I'll put the date. Okay, I'll upload. So when reporting comes, till that date, how many operations has been happened? What is the overall business picture I can give? Okay, pending is nothing but consolidating. I'll be putting one master file, constant template. I'll be pushing all the data into the template, month by month. That data goes to Power BI tab. Is there anything which you are doing it manually? Hi.
Yeah, expect SQL.
SQL can be done here. నేను చేసిన బుచ్చే చేసిన సింపుల్ థింగ్. నాకేమన్నా అర్థం అట్లుంటుంది నాకు, కానీ మీకు కొంచెం
Yeah, don't
డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ఎక్స్పర్టీస్ అంతే. That's why my experience was into different technology, not into one. Okay.
ఇప్పుడు what do you say? Paid ones or you got free?
1 year validity.
A lot different from Power BI.
Yeah.
Lot more rudimentary.
Yeah. There is nothing here.
In Power BI, whatever measurements or whatever created, it's on the right side. All the fields, it's just like how we in pivot tables like this, it's on the right side.
Which I have created.
It's a real time data. It's not real time.
This is for the student of IIM.
Okay.
His task.
Oh.
These professors, they give this. Okay. Online people, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Ardhamainda, how to assign a macro to a button and how to execute it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Hmm?
Understood, sir.
Yeah. So next one. So I'll tell you the conditional formatting and all those. Okay. Now we have to learn the basic programming. Okay, we have to start basic programming. So now you come to know how to format the table. Okay, how to add sheets, how to work with workbooks, you came to know. Now you have to learn the basics of programming. Not object-oriented programming, basics of programming. In general. Yes, exactly. No. The first concept is variables. The first concept in any programming is variables. Okay. Any programming. C, C++, Java, Oracle, Butterscotch, Vanilla, whatever you take, the first concept is variables. Basic programming. In any programming language, can you add two numbers like this? I'll do here. 20 plus 30, 20 plus 30. Is it possible to add any two numbers in any programming language? Then how you're going to add?
Cell reference.
Cell reference? No, don't go into Excel. In programming language, if you want to add any two numbers, how you are going to do?
The accepted syntax of that particular programming language.
Yeah, true, but how? Exactly. Okay, we have to define the variable means x is equal to 20. 20 is a value which stores in the x variable.
Right.
X is a variable. 20 is the value. Okay. Y is a variable. In Y I am storing 30 value. Okay. Now, if I say x plus y, is it possible x plus y?
Yes.
No. So whatever the solution you are getting from these two, you have to assign to one more variable called z.
That is equal to plus.
Okay. Directly you cannot do any operation without any variables in any programming language. Variables are used to store some values in that. Okay. Variables are used to store any variable, any value in that value, not value, in that variable. Okay. Any value. It can be text, it can be number. Any value. Okay. Data types and concept to good study, but we'll discuss in next week. Next week, first half will be totally programming. Second day will be real-time scenarios. Okay. So x is equal to 20, y is equal to 30. Z is equal to x plus y. So each and every value should be stored in a variable. The output which is coming from the variable also should be stored in other variable. That means directly you can't. Okay. Now, what is the value? Z is, what is the Z value?
X plus Y.
X plus y. You are doing some operation. You have calculated something in the programming language. You gave some inputs, direct inputs, but variables see the output. Point together. Output also, right? So to see the output of those variables, we have immediate window. Immediate window, yes. SQL is the same. Here we are right to write scripting there, akada query language. Okay. X is equal to 20, y is equal to 30, z is equal to x plus y. If you want to see in the runtime, means immediate window. You have to give the z value. You should not directly refer 50 here. You cannot. But we are storing the value of x plus y in z. I want to display the z value here, not x plus y. Whatever the x plus y value is storing in z value. I want to see what is there in z value. Okay. So debug.print z means it will print what is the value stored in z. Example. Let me run this. Clear? Same thing. If you want to see the same output in Excel, Excel lo చూడాలి. Okay. So you can delete this. Again, if you want to execute, it will execute. Okay. X is a variable which stores 20 value. Y is a variable which stores 30 value. X plus y is nothing but 50, which is stored in Z. Directly the operation value will be stored in Z variable. So I want to call the Z. What is the value which is there in Z? Debug.print means it will print it in immediate window. If you want to see it in Excel, outputs ఎలా చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. Same thing if you wanted to see it in the pop-up window. Same thing. Okay. Let me run this. F8. 50. 50. In 3 forms you can see in any way. Immediate window lo చూసుకోండి తప్పేం లేదు. Excel లో పెట్టుకోండి తప్పేం లేదు. లేకపోతే I want to check it in message box. I want to check in message box. అలా అయినా చూసుకోవచ్చు. Okay. These are the 3 ways to check the operational value. మనకి రన్ టైంలో తెలుస్తుందా? ఇప్పుడు ఇవి ఇయ్యలేదు ఈ 3. రన్ టైంలో కనిపిస్తుంది నీకు ఏ వాల్యూ ఉందని. You have to know that value, right, which is coming from the operation, right? So at that time you can check what is there in that value. You can directly print those values in the immediate window, in the Excel sheet, or in message box. Okay. Or directly you can write like this: the value stored in Z ampersand of Z. This is a predefined statement. This is predefined statements. Constant one. This is a variable one which will change every time. If you include this Z inside the double quotes, okay? If you include that Z inside the double quote, it will print as it is. Inside the double quotes, it will not call the Z value. It will print the constant values as it is in the double quotes. If you want to call the value of any variable, that should not be in between concatenate with Z. Now you see here, అర్థమైందా? Okay. So likewise, we can store any value in any variable. Come on.
So you're doing F8, right?
Yes.
That is, if you look up at F5 is a whole macro. itself.
Yes, yes.
Now I've executed the macro, right? Now I want to go to the last step. I want to recheck it and because I'm writing a macro.
In the process only,
Again, I have to go on top. But what it was, you went to end sub and you went on top again.
ఇది ఇమీడియట్ కదా, నెక్స్ట్ దే కదా.
Okay, okay.
పెద్ద ప్రాజెక్టులు అయితే మధ్యలో ఆపరేషన్స్ జరుగుతాయి కొన్ని,
Right.
అప్పుడు లాస్ట్ వరకు అది కాంది ఇది రాదు కదా.
Oh, no, no. That has
ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయితేనే ఇది అవుతుంది.
what I want.
Okay.
End sub to this work already.
జస్ట్ మౌస్ ఓవర్ చేసిన, డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్. Okay. This is about variables. Next. X is equal to Y is equal to
117.
Ram. Okay. Can I say Z is equal to X plus Y? Let's see in the message box. Plus means it will concatenate. Okay. Add not cancel. It will add.
Will add, yeah.
Add. Okay. So when you write both strings, it is going to. Okay. X is equal to 20 is done. Y is equal to 30 is done. Z is equal to X plus 5. I'm getting 30. Okay. Right. Fine. Okay. No. Getting 90. Okay, fine. Can I run this?
Yeah. Repeat the steps.
Yeah, I'll show. No worry. Yeah.
This concatenate.
This is taking in the form of string. This is taking in the format of string. Here already we gave it in form of string. Here directly it is taking direct value. Okay. So
What if we give a string and a number?
it will concatenate. Okay. Let's see that as well.
So why I'm directly going with X value now? Because now we know what's going to happen.
90 రాలే చూడండి.
No, I know, but it's
90 వస్తుంది,
90
but it is not showing in message box.
It's showing in message box.
Message box. 90.
90. Oh, that is a string, right?
Yeah.
But why in the value?
It should not. That's why I'm checking.
Use it extend the value.
It should come like 50 plus 40 actually, but not sure. But it's okay, mind well. But I want to introduce one more topic called data types. What are called data types?
The one on which you can perform mathematical operations and text. Text, date,
Okay.
numbers.
There are few advantages for data types. Okay. Let me talk about what are variables now.
Variables or something where the value is stored.
Which will store the value, any value. Variables, simple term, which will store the value. But what is a data type?
Whatever is stored inside a variable, the nature of it.
Exactly. Okay. Data type means what type of data you are storing in one variable. You have to mention what type of data, whether it's a numerical value or a string value. You have to tell before itself while writing the program. Okay. There are 10 to 15 types of data types, but we use only integer, long, single, double, string. So why we use these data types? Any idea?
String is for text.
Why we use this data type? Okay, I'll give a simple example. Sub var1, okay, x is equal to 30, y is equal to 70, z is equal to x plus y. Okay. When you are not defining any value to any data type, it will treat as a variant. Okay. When you are not defining, actually you have to define any variable to a data type. If you are not defining to a data type, that means it will consider as a variant. I'll tell you. What is a variant means? Which occupy very, just a minute. అర్థమైందా? So in any variable, when you are not defining any data type to any variable, it will consider as a variant. Okay, I have a chart, a display chart. Okay, right. So I have a table, table in the Nagara. I'll show you that table. Okay, actually, why we use data types to any variable? In simple terms, no, I'll tell you one example, best example. Okay, different data types, different memory sizes.
Yeah. True.
Okay, for different data, I'll give you the table. I did not remember. I will give you that. Just give me a minute. Okay.
SQL.
Ah,
If you're tiny,
exactly,
if you're large,
exactly,
you
exactly.
can
Yes, yes, yes.
it all-
Let me
all-
open this. Let me open this. Okay, so this is the one. Let me open. Let me share with you.
So can you also share the regular, whatever your
అదే వస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. అదే వస్తుంది ఎక్కడికి, అదే వస్తుంది. 591. Let me close this. This is the file we are using. Okay, so you see here, for integer how many bytes, for single how many bytes, for long yellow color highlighted one we are using regularly, which I wrote in already Rashida. Okay, so double 8 bytes, string
10 bytes.
I talked about variant, right? Variant for numbers how many bytes? Variant with characters how many bytes? 22. Variant 16 bytes. Variant without numbers, it is 22 bytes. Just now you came to know. Okay, now let's talk about this. How much memory I'm using here? Without numbers is 22.
Yeah.
With the numbers it is
16.
16. 16. 16. 16. Right? Next one. Next example. So, best example. Listen carefully, guys. I want to send a gift to my friend. Okay. I ordered something, very small gift, which can handle in your hand, which is not that weight, which is only 200 to 300 grams. How many ways can I transfer that gift? ఎలా పంపించొచ్చు మా ఫ్రెండ్కి?
To make the person.
Through mail, through person. I can go on bike. I can go on bike. I can go on car. I can go on bus. I can go on lorry. I can go on train. I can go on aeroplane. How many ways are there? N number of ways. బట్ నేను అడుగుతా యాక్చువల్గా ఎట్లా పోతే మంచిగా ఉంటుంది? మెయిల్ కాకుండా జస్ట్ సింపుల్ ఒక జెప్టోలో ఓపెన్ చేసి ఆర్డర్ చేస్తే ర్యాపిడో వాడు అత్తడు పిక్ చేసుకుంటాడు, పోతాడు, మనకి ఇచ్చేస్తాడు. వాట్ ఈస్ ద కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ దాట్?
Quite low.
వెరీ లో యాక్చువల్లీ ఇఫ్ యూ హైర్ ఏ బస్. అవునా కదా? See how much amount of memory we are utilizing here? 16 3s. Okay, but actually how much memory is required for to calculating for these numbers? 255 numbers range is negligible for byte. Okay, that will take a byte. Byte, how many bytes here? If I declare as a byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte. Totally how many bytes? Instead of using 3 bytes, by without referring any variable to a data type, we are wasting how much amount of memory?
Space complexity.
Space complexity. Okay, actually the concept of introducing data types is time and space. To load that, time consumption. To execute that, time consumption. Okay, for these small programs it will execute okay, but when you're dealing with large projects,
Yeah.
clear the concept of data types?
Clear.
Clear, right? Instead of wasting without referring it is taking as variant. How much memory it is wasting? 48 bytes. But by referring exactly, if you know the standards of what type it is going to take. Let me take about integer. I talked about integer, minimum 2 bytes. ఇక్కడ 30 కాబట్టి byte అన్నాం. It goes something around 32,000 to plus 32,000. Okay, 222, 6 bytes is more than enough, right?
Yeah.
Or long, 4 3 is 12. 12 is more than enough, right? Of any number.
Yeah, long is the maximum.
Long is maximum, that is more than enough, right? Why we are wasting without defining how much memory we are wasting? Ardhamainda? That's the concept of data types. We have to definitely introduce the concept of data types for any program to save the memory and the fast consumption of the program. Okay, clear? So that's it for today, guys. Next week we'll start with the first day. We'll start with the only the programming content. What are data types? What are loops? What are if conditions? What are switch case? What is and if are used? All those we will learn next week. From Sunday, we'll start the real-time scenarios. Okay, 2 weekends, we'll close it. Okay, clear? Any questions online, people? Nishita, Pandyan Raj, Venkat Reddy.
No, sir.
Clear, sir.
Sir.
No? Venkat?
I'm clear, sir.
Nishita?
No, sir. No doubts.
Yeah. So, see you for the day. We'll meet next week. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I'm sharing the file over the group, WhatsApp group. Or వాళ్ళు ఏదో డ్రైవ్ ఇచ్చేలా చూసి నుంచి
Drive by share it, sir.
yeah, let me share it in the drive. Okay, thank you and thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir.